Welcome to Papa's Workshop. Today I'm putting together a Rockler material mate stand, and this has really come to be a very important tool in my shop. I've used it now to be able to unload plywood out of the back of the truck, and I've also tested it out with putting the plywood onto my workbench as well as a table saw, and it works fantastic. Today I want to show you just how easy it is to be able to assemble and use this tool. Now, this is not a paid promotional. This is a cart that I purchased. It's actually an early Christmas gift from my wife, and it is going to really solve a big problem in the shop. So let's get started. Before we start today's video, I've got a real big favor. Recently, YouTube has changed their algorithms. What does that mean? That means that my videos are not being recommended as often as they used to. How do we change that? I need your help in a most urgent way to be able to like this video, share it with as many people as you can, and subscribe. By making these 3 simple changes, it really will trigger those algorithms to be able to get the recommendations back out to everyone in the woodworking community and the CNC world. So if you like the videos that I'm producing, you like my teaching methods, please subscribe, like, and share. Now, let's get back to today's video. I'm real excited. This just arrived by UPS today, and I'm really excited. This is the Rockler material mate that makes moving the large sheets of plywood so much easier. One of the things that you guys have to know is I'm getting older, and it's getting harder and harder to lift a sheet of plywood out of the truck into the shop, and more importantly, to be able to get it onto the workbench. This material mate is going to be hopefully my solution to being able to solve my problem. Now I am going to do an unboxing and assembly of this material mate, but again, this is not a paid review. This is something that I purchased to be able to solve a problem that I'm having in my shop, and I think this is going to be the solution. Now as I open this up, you can tell that it is packaged very, very neatly. And the instructions are right there on top. And guys, yes, I believe in following the instructions. So I'm going to set these aside for a moment, but I definitely will be using it. Now this is an early Christmas present from my wife, because I was talking about this type of product a few days ago, and I was actually planning on building something. And I showed her what I had seen and an idea to be able to build it, and she said, let me get it for a Christmas present. And I said, yes, that's a marvelous idea, and I'm glad I did. These parts are very heavy duty, actually heavier than I expected, so I'm very pleased as I unbox all of the different parts. One of the things that you'll notice is that everything is individually wrapped, and the larger components are stored very securely in the foam. This is not bad. I'm impressed so far just with the packaging and how solid and heavy each of these components are. Now that everything is out of the box, I want to give you an overview of exactly what is included, because it is everything that you need to have a very solid, stable material mate to be able to move these large sheets of plywood, and it's adjustable to be able to accommodate various heights of the workbench that you may have. I'm going to go ahead and open up the parts bag with all the nuts and the bolts and get this sorted out. And again, these are also wrapped individually based on what part of the build that you're doing. And the first thing that I'm going to do is just go ahead and assemble the wheels onto the base frame of this. As I said earlier, I am going to follow the instructions. So I'm opening up the book, and it's very, very detailed with very nice large pictures that are easy to be able to read and see exactly where each particular component goes. So I'm going to follow this guide step by step. And I think it's important to note, to let you guys know, this is the first time I have ever bought anything from Rockler. I have known about it for years, and quite frankly, I don't know why I didn't purchase something from them before, because their ordering process was easy. The shipment was far less time than what they had estimated, and I have been very, very pleased so far with how this whole process has gone. To be able to put the wheels onto this frame is actually very straightforward and easy. There's 4 bolts for each of the wheels, and you have the washer and you have the nylon lock nuts to be able to secure it in place. At this point, I'm just going to hand tighten everything, then I'll come back and tighten it with the wrenches. I went ahead and grabbed my socket set, and I'm going to go ahead and pick out the right size socket. So with this, I can just test and see which one it fits, and it looks like this one. This is an 11 millimeter socket that I'll be able to use to assemble this project. And now it's time just to tighten up all the bolts, and this part of it will be done. Now we're ready to move on to the next part. Now I like assembling this on the workbench because it makes it where it's an easy height for me and I don't have to bend over. That floor is a long ways away, and this is much easier. Now these are the uprights, brackets that are going to actually support the adjustable uprights that I'm going to be installing next. There are 4 of these that need to be bolted into position, and again it just takes the bolt and the nut, and I'm just going to hand tighten all of them and then come back and tighten them with the wrenches. Being that this is a Christmas gift, have you noticed my little elf sitting on the shelf? Well, he's back for the season again. Okay, all 4 of my upright brackets are installed, so now it's time to grab those uprights and slide those into position. Now I've measured the height, and I know how high that I need to have it for my particular situation. And what's really nice about it, the position that I need to have it in is actually the lowest setting for this application. So in the future, should I need to have it higher for any particular reason, I can adjust it several inches higher should I need to. This is a nice feature because the most important thing is to be able to take my plywood and be able to very easily lift it and set it onto the workbench and then onto the table saw. This is the perfect height for that. In addition, with the ability to be able to tilt the plywood over, it makes it where I can roll this through any door that I have to be able to get in and out of the shop and in and out of the garage. And to be able to attach it, it just takes 2 bolts on each side, and that's it. So it's easy to be able to have it secure, but yet if you need to change the height, it's easy to be able to adjust that as well. The next piece that goes in is this crossbar to provide the stability for the 2 uprights. And again, 2 bolts on each side, and it's done. Now I have 2 safety pins. One goes on each side. Now it has this little cable with the little clip at the end. All you need to do is take a screw and it slips right through that clip on the end into a threaded insert on the upright. So all I need to do is just tighten it in place, and I repeat this on the other side. Now these safety pins are important because on the next section it does have where the bar will be able to slide in and out, and you need to be able to have it secured with these safety pins. A quick check to make sure that all of the bolts are tight, and I'm going to do this all the way around the whole entire stand. The next part to install are these little holders. Now they have the washer and they also have the handle, and again it has a threaded insert. Now this red clip does have a left and a right because these do turn and lay flat, so they get to be out of the way. And when you need them, you just loosen the handle, turn it up, tighten it, and you're ready to go. And of course there's one on each side. So don't forget there is a left and a right for this. Once again, the threaded insert is in place, so there's nothing else that you have to do other than just assemble it. Now that that's tight, I just want to check it out, make sure that it works properly, and it does. The next thing that I want to do is put this latch on, and all it is just 2 screws, and the holes are already there, so it just slips in, and you put the bolt and the washers on the back, and it's done. But this is a very important latch to have. You don't want to forget this. So these are 2-inch long screws that go in, and of course you have the washer and the nuts to be able to hold it in position. And all you need to be able to do is just use the screwdriver and back it up with the wrench to be able to tighten this in position, and that's it. There's really nothing else to be able to do on it. Now it's time to be able to take this tilt mechanism and put it onto the actual cart. And for that, there are 2 bolts that we're going to be using for that. And it has the 2 bolts, the 2 washers, and of course the 2 nuts. Now these are the nylon lock nuts that actually hold it in place. So there's really nothing else that you need. These nylon lock nuts work extremely well. Now all I have to do is just take this top mechanism and just drop it right into place, and then just make sure that it's aligned and slip the bolt into it. And the second washer and the lock nut and securing it in position. Then I just repeat the process on the other side. Now I didn't mention this, I do have the first washer on the outside, and then once I have the bolt through, then I have to put the second washer on, followed with the lock nut. And I didn't mention that on the other side. Now that I have it in position, I just want to be able to go ahead and tighten it up. Now that everything's tight, let's test it out for the first time. I can just release the latch and tilt it, and it works perfect. I love it. This is going to be great. Now I pulled the bar out, and it does have the little button catch that holds it in position, and then you put the safety pin in, and you do that on both sides. And this is so that you can actually tilt it and carry your plywood easily. And then when you're done, you can just rotate this back into the horizontal position, remove the 2 safety pins, push the little button, and slide the bar in. Now you have a flat surface that you can use. So this is a multi-purpose stand. Many of you have seen me carry my plywood in this manner with these 2 2x6s right here that actually support it, because I have a small bed truck and I need to be able to have the 4x8 sheets of plywood to be able to lay flat. What is so nice about this cart is that it is the same height as the bed of the truck. So if I had smaller lumber, then I would be able to just slide it directly out. But this still works extremely well, and I want to show you how I can just slide this plywood out and put it on this new rack. So all I need to do, I have the wheels locked, and I'm just going to grab the plywood and slide it right out. And then it just slides right up onto this new platform. And then I can just unscrew this, turn it up, lock that in place. I'm going to pull it out a little bit, and I'll be able to raise that one up, tighten it in place. Then I can just simply roll it out of the way so I can put the tailgate up. Roll this anywhere that I want to, and now I can roll it directly into my shop. I want to turn this around so you can see the other side of it and just how wonderful this is. This little latch is actually easy to get to when you tilt it up and down. This is a great stand to have. With the plywood tilted up like this, it easily goes through the door. Now that threshold does cause just a little bit of problem, so you have to be careful with that. And quite frankly, it would have been easier if this was turned around the other way. But for the camera, I wanted you to see it. Now let's roll it right into the shop, and I want to show you just how easy it is to be able to set this plywood onto the workbench. It doesn't get any easier. This is something I'll be able to do actually for a number of years to come. So much easier than trying to lift it by hand from the floor without this cart. Again, I want to remind everybody that this is not a paid promotional review. This cart I bought. I bought it to be able to solve a problem that I'm having in my shop. And I think it's going to work fantastic. So if you have a situation where it's more and more difficult for you to lift the plywood up onto your workbench or to get it out of your truck, this seems to be an ideal, perfect tool to solve that problem. So I hope you enjoyed this review today and how this tool works. And I'm going to do some other things with this in the future, because this, in this flat position like it is, will be able to support the cameras and allow me to move the cameras easily around the room also. So I'm going to get a lot of use out of this cart. Hi everyone, thank you for watching my video today. If you like the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below and the little bell next to it so you'll be notified on the different videos that I upload. Also check out the videos over here to be able to stay up to date on the happenings in my shop. So again, thank you for watching my videos.